So today, Hasbro's Marcelo posted some images of his design work on the future upcoming Transformers Legacy Voyager Class Transformers Prime Bulkhead. And combined with the fact that we just released the first episode of the Transformers, the Toy Armada, Transformers Armada Edition, where we kind of touched on Marcelo and his work that he did with Transformers Armada, his first true job with the franchise, it had me start to think, like, that next year is going to be a very Transformers Prime heavy year if you're a fan of that part of the franchise. I mean, back in 2020, as crazy as it sounds, almost 2 years ago, man, has time flew. But back in 2020, Hasbro Pulse was like celebrating the 10th anniversary of Transformers Prime, and we got those two Hasbro Pulse exclusives of the War Breakdown, which came with the Viacon, which was, I think that was a fantastic release, and still to this day, the money buy in the past 2 years to pick up for, let's say, speculative senses. It also came with the Hades Megatron. That was the other release that they did. Both of them Arms Micron kind of stuff. And that was really it to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Transformers Prime. There really wasn't much else. And then the following year, I mean, we got in the Transformers R.E.D line, the robot enhanced design line, we got the Wave 2 RC. So that was something, I guess. You know, hey, that's pretty cool. But it seems like 2022 is going to be the year. It's going to be the year that's going to have it all, because from what we've already seen with Transformers Legacy, we already saw the Prime RC. Some people are hot or cold about it. They don't like the design. They like the design. Regardless of the fact, we're getting a Prime RC with a different kind of interpretation. What pretty much started this whole conversation, Marcelo just showed his design images for the Prime Bulkhead, which is going to be the Voyager class in Wave 1. So that's pretty hype also. That's pretty cool. But then there's even stuff that they've teased through leaks and everything of the Wave 2 stuff, both in the Deluxe Class and the Voyager. The supposedness that we're going to get a Transformers Prime knockout, which is pretty cool. I think RC and Bulkhead are going to be kind of indicative of how the aesthetic's going to be, but I still think it's probably going to be pretty cool if you ask me. I'm really curious to see how they'll handle Transformers Prime knockout in this day and age, especially as an answer to what will be in Transformers R.E.D, which we're going to discuss in a moment with that character. And then supposedly also in the leaks for Wave 2 is a Voyager class Transformers Prime Soundwave, which, considering how slender his design is and stuff and how unique it really is to that version of that character in that universe, the aligned continuity, if you will, very curious to see how they tackle that too. But it doesn't end there. Supposedly the Bulkhead, the Voyager class, was actually the repaint retool of something that we're going to get later. And that is that the Bulkhead is actually a huge, extensive retool and repaint of a Transformers Prime Optimus Prime Voyager class that we're going to be getting at some point. The rumors are that it might actually be based off of the Beast Hunters design and not so much the Season 1 and Season 2 traditional Transformers Prime Optimus Prime design. But again, no confirmation there. Take it with a grain of salt right now. That's just what I've heard from my sources. But what they also said was the primary reason why, even though Bulkhead is the repaint retool, why did he come first? Well, they wanted to have that first wave launch of Transformers Legacy to have the Optimus Prime leader class be the focal point and focus. And of course, you're going to have an Optimus Prime repack later in the core class and stuff. So you don't want to have too much of Optimus Prime in your assortments when you could have all these other characters and stuff too, celebrating the legacy of the Transformer brand, or the generations, however you want to brand it. But so that's still pretty cool too, but it doesn't end there, because then going back to, like I was going to say, with Transformers R.E.D, we already know that we're getting in Wave 5, we're going to be getting a fantastic knockout. Looks exactly like the animation model, and I think it'll be just like how R.E.D. RC is a great representation of the animation model, while the Legacy one will give you something that's a different interpretation. It'll be the same thing here. Wave 5, R.E.D, knockout, super show accurate. It's going to have tons of accessories and stuff. His his trident, his little buzzsaw hand, his drill weapon, all kinds of extra little things here and there. Looks like a fantastic release. Definitely going to pick that one up. But whatever the Wave 2 Deluxe Class Legacy Prime Knockout will be, it'll be a different interpretation. That's what I'm going to assume. But it'll still have the spirit of that character and give us a little something something. So that's pretty awesome too. And then supposedly, again, according to leaks and everything online, Wave 6 or 7 is going to give us Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime, and Megatron at some point. They're going to be packed with G1 Shockwave and G1 Galvatron, supposedly. But we're supposed to get those too, so those will be, like, I guess, extensively show-accurate versions of those characters, while, once again, the Legacy Transformer Prime that we're supposedly supposed to get will be its own different interpretation. And then on top of that, there's supposed to be, I guess, a repaint of that Megatron, the Transformers Prime Megatron, supposedly maybe in his Unicronus colors or, Hades colors. Who knows? That's just, again, more rumors and stuff from the R.E.D. line. But it looks like it's going to, like, 2022 is shaping up to be the Transformer Prime celebration year instead of 2020, the actual 10th anniversary. So don't ever look for round numbers when you want to celebrate certain brands. Like, oh, they didn't do anything with Beast Wars in this year or that year. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it could come out of nowhere. And I mean, 2022 is shaping up to be like, I think there's going to be at least minimum, if everything ships out correctly, we're talking at least 7 to 10 different Transformer Prime products, related Transformer Prime products, just in that year alone, as opposed to the 2 that we got in the anniversary year that were also, online exclusives. So pretty cool stuff. Just wanted to bring that to people's attention, because I know a lot of people, Transformers Prime is their favorite Transformer series. It's not mine, but I do recognize that there is a large contingency of people that love that part of the franchise, and that Hasbro recognizes that and is going to be doing more product in relation to that to celebrate that part of the brand. And hopefully we'll see more. There's a lot of characters in that line that there could be so much more done with. I mean, even some of the later additions to that series, like Smokescreen and many others, there's so many different things that we could do, and it'll look pretty cool. It'll look pretty cool to see, more of that. I think that's where, and I said this before in the past, I think that's where R.E.D. truly belongs as a line. It doesn't need to do G1 stuff, and I know that it's the stuff that sells the best, and it aims at a more mainstream audience. But I think that that's what you could really do, is you could put more Transformer Prime designs there that were a little too slick as CG models to be made into plastic out of the limitations of the budget of a Deluxe or Voyager price point. But that's one place it could be. And you could stick a whole bunch of characters, and of course all the the G1 characters that never got decent toys, like some of the female Autobots or Alpha Trion or DevCon or Botanica, and I could go on and on and on that rant. But that's a whole other story. Let me know what you think. Looks like it's going to be a Transformers Prime year next year, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff, but really a strong lean on Transformers Prime. And if you haven't seen it yet, latest episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer is up. We're talking about Transformers Armada, part 1 of a multi-part series. It's a lot of great visuals. It's not a podcast that you could, look away at the screen. It's a lot of cool stuff to see, too. A lot of prototype images and sketches and behind-the-scenes footage of Japanese Takara guys drinking alcohol. Good stuff. So be sure to check that out, too, on the Toy Armada channel. It's in the related channels tab of the podcast channel here, or you could just, punch it into your Google machine or your YouTube machine, and you can find it there. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go check that out, too.